All right, so billionaires are shifting positions. We're going to talk about where George Soros and John Paulson are investing, and David Benoit is here to tell us about it. Everybody's always curious to know what these guys are up to.
Yeah,
certainly.
Fun.
So what do they know that we don't know? What are they doing?
So George Soros, multi-billionaire, is liking Google right now. Google and gold, which we knew he liked already, but he put a lot of money into.
So more into Google
yes.
at this point.
Yeah, he has about $168 million worth of Google shares as the end of December.
I know, which in the scheme of things, by the way, is not a lot. I mean, we tend to do this like this extra. I mean, Google's got a market cap of close to $200 billion. There are huge institutions like a Fidelity or a Vanguard that are sitting on $1, $2, $3 billion worth of Google shares, and what they do in the market matters a lot more than George Soros accumulating $100 million. We, being the media, insists on following these people because we think they know something that other people don't.
Do they?
I think if you look at hedge fund performance over the last couple of years, the answer would be not really. I mean, while it is true that you will have this streaky behavior by people like John Paulson. I mean, John Paulson made a ton of money shorting subprime mortgages, shorting some of the financials. Then he went long the financials. His timing was lousy last year. He did terribly last year. Yeah. So some years, if you look at what John Paulson does, you're probably learning something. In other years, it's probably a net detriment if you kind of follow him.
So these regulatory filings that we look over and we talk about are interesting, but you're saying not necessarily useful to the average investor.
No, because first of all, there's a time lag. David could tell you, there's a time lag here. So you don't really know whether George Soros is still sitting in Google right now.
These are all as of the end of December, so we don't know necessarily what he's done in the last month.
Yeah. And I mean, when he has a position of 100, I mean, $500 million to $1 billion easily a day of Google shares will trade. By the way, my wife works at Google, disclosure. So he could, it's a pretty liquid stock, so he can move in and out of these positions. The more interesting kind of things to look at would be like Dan Loeb taking a stake in Yahoo, because he's going to be activist with it, whereas I don't think George Soros is really looking to be activist with Google.
Right. And what about John Paulson? We were taking a look at him as well.
Yeah, we just mentioned him. He sold out of banks. He got rid of Citi and Bank of America.
When?
Well, all we know is as of the fourth quarter.
So he missed basically the first month of this year, which was the huge run. So that's what goes to show you. He's had pretty lousy timing. I mean, Bank of America shares are basically up on the back of his overhang disappearing.
Yeah,
so Paulson was a big holder of Bank of America shares into the fourth quarter. January, so he dumps his shares. Shares get hammered at the end of last year. And then this year they're up like, they were trading at $4.50, $5. Now they're at like $7 or $8. So they're up huge, but John Paulson's not there to be benefiting from it.
But again, we don't necessarily know. He could have gotten back in.
Yeah, he could have. But you never,
he had a pretty long bet there, and suddenly he doesn't. So. Right.